You ever feel that pull? That constant tug of war between wanting to go out and make things happen, to achieve your goals, and at the same time, just wanting to find some inner peace? It's this tension that runs through, well, pretty much all of modern life. So today, we're going to dive right into that paradox. How in the world do we balance the world of doing with the world of being?
So let's just get right to the heart of it, right? Is it wrong to want things? Is it, unspiritual to have ambitions, to want to manifest a certain kind of life for yourself? For a lot of us, this is the very first conflict we run into when we start to look inward.
Okay, so to really get a handle on this inner conflict, we've got to zoom out a bit. Because it turns out this tension, it's not just personal, it's not just you. It actually reflects this huge universal duality, two primal movements that are happening in everything, and that includes us. So on one hand, you've got this outward movement. Look around. The universe is always creating, always manifesting new forms. That's the part of you that wants to build, to achieve, to really experience the whole messy, beautiful play of life. But then there's this other, opposing force, the inward movement. It's this pull to return to the source, this deep, deep desire for stillness and peace. And that, right there, is the very foundation of our spiritual impulse.
And let's be clear, this outward movement, the doing, it's not the problem in itself. Not at all. The real trouble starts when we get completely lost in it, when doing becomes this trap and we totally lose our connection to that essential stillness inside.
And this trap, it actually has a name. It's called the form identity. And what is that? Well, it's the ego. It's this core belief that I am my story, that I am my name, my job, my memories, my body, my thoughts. It's an identity that's built entirely on things that are temporary and, let's face it, always changing.
So, when we get completely caught up in this form identity, our consciousness basically enters what Eckhart Tolle calls a dreamlike state. It's like we're sleepwalking. We start to really believe that we're this separate, isolated little person, completely cut off from the rest of the universe and the flow of life.
So, what does that dream actually feel like from the inside? Well, it feels like constant wanting, doesn't it? Like something is always missing. It's that feeling that no matter what you get or what you achieve, there's this underlying dissatisfaction, this background hum of fear or anxiety. It's a deep, nagging sense of being incomplete. And that's the built-in suffering of living only through our form identity.
So, the million-dollar question is, how do we wake up from this dream? Well, we have to find the balancing force. We have to reconnect with what's called our essence identity. And the doorway to that is a return to stillness.
We so often think of stillness as just nothing, as emptiness. But it's really the exact opposite. Stillness is where you find the most real, the most true part of yourself. The part that isn't defined by your personal story or all the things you have or haven't done.
So let's just pause here for a second and really consider this question. If you were to let go of your past, your story, your name, just for a moment, what's left? Who is the you that's still there? Because that awareness, that's the doorway.
And that awareness that remains, that's your essence identity. See, it's not a person, it's not a character, it's presence itself. It's that timeless, formless consciousness that was here before your personal story ever began, and it'll be here long after it ends. That is the true source of your sense of I. And this is so important. This does not mean we have to choose stillness over action. It's not about becoming a hermit on a mountain. No. The real challenge, and honestly the greatest opportunity for us, is to learn how to bring these two primal movements together.
The name of the game here is integration. It's all about learning how to act, how to create, how to manifest things in the world, but to do it from a place that is deeply, deeply rooted in the stillness of your own being.
And believe me, the difference between these two ways of acting is just profound. It's night and day. You've got unconscious doing, which comes from the ego's neediness, and it just creates more suffering and chaos. But then you have conscious doing, and this flows from a place of presence. It's empowered by a much deeper intelligence, and it's totally free from that desperate, anxious attachment to the results. This is such a powerful way to reframe everything. It's not about doing big, important things versus small, unimportant things. What really matters, the primary factor, is the quality of consciousness you bring to whatever you're doing. Is it coming from a place of frantic neediness, or is it coming from a place of presence and awareness?
Think about it like this. You wouldn't build a house by starting with the roof, right? You have to lay a solid foundation first. Well, being is that foundation. Without that solid rootedness in conscious presence, any doing you try to build on top of it is just going to be unstable. It's built on shaky ground. Okay, so I know what you're thinking. This all sounds great in theory, but how do we actually do this? How do we live this way? Let's get really practical and look at some steps you can start using in your daily life, like right now.
All right, here's a super simple practice you can start today. First step, just feel the inner body. Sense the aliveness, the energy in your hands, your feet, your whole body. That's your anchor. Second, as you're doing things, walking, working, whatever, try to keep just a little bit of your attention inside, on that feeling. And this is crucial. Step 3 and 4, watch for resistance. Notice any negativity or complaint, and especially recognize when you get upset. Because those moments, they're your alarm bells telling you you've disconnected.
Seriously, this is the simplest and clearest diagnostic tool you will ever have. The moment you feel yourself getting upset, whether it's anger, frustration, annoyance, you name it, that is a guaranteed sign that you have lost your connection to being, and the ego, that old form identity, has jumped back into the driver's seat.
But we can actually take this a level deeper when it comes to our emotional reactions, because the thing we think is making us upset is almost never the real reason. This idea from A Course in Miracles just hits the nail on the head.
See, that person, that situation, that traffic jam, that's just the trigger. It's not the cause. The real root reason you get upset is always internal. It's because you've lost your connection to your essence, and you've fallen back into that dream of being a separate, vulnerable self.
And all of this leads us to one final and pretty radical question. I mean, we're so conditioned from day one to believe our purpose in life is tied to what we achieve. But what if? What if your life's purpose has absolutely nothing to do with what you do?
This opens up a completely different possibility. What if, for some of us, our main purpose isn't about doing it all, but about simply being a frequency holder, just being a point of stillness in the world, a space through which the universe can become conscious of its own beauty and creation, and maybe, just maybe, that is more than enough for a deeply, truly fulfilled life.